Hi, I'm Nathan Grounds, Coalition Coordinator for the Northeast Texas Coalition Against Substance Abuse.
I'm Joseph Byram, Coalition Coordinator for the Piney Woods Substance Abuse Coalition.
And I'm Rebecca Smith, Program Director at Next Step. We're here to talk to you today about what's the big deal about vaping.
E-cigarettes, or vapes, are still somewhat new on the scene. So much so that scientists are still finding different ways that they affect the body. We know that vaping can dramatically impact the brain and the lungs. There may even be some negative consequences you haven't heard about yet. We'll talk about some of those in this video.
We think you students are capable of so much, and you deserve to live healthy lives. That's why we want to tell you about the dangers of vaping, as well as give you some tools to keep you from using these products.
We're going to talk about how vaping may not be as widespread as you think, and what are some other good ways to deal with stress besides vaping. We'll also come up with some ways you can say no if someone offers you one.
Part of our job is giving presentations to students all over East Texas. Many times, students feel like everybody's doing it. They say, every time I go to the bathroom, I see someone vaping.
But think about it. If you go to the place where the activity is most likely to happen, of course you're going to feel like it's happening more often than it actually is. That would be like if you walked past the band hall and heard students playing instruments and said, gosh, there's music playing every time I walk by. I guess everyone at this school is in band.
Oh, I thought they're not?
Afraid not, Nathan.
Sorry, Nathan. But guess what? We know the actual percentage of East Texas students who vape.
What?
Yeah, some really smart researchers at Texas A&M have surveyed students across East Texas. The surveys are anonymous, so students can be totally honest. They even have trick questions to weed out students who aren't being real.
That's so sneaky.
It's genius. So do you guys want to guess the actual number of teens who said they vaped in the last month?
70%?
No, 80.
You're way off. It's actually the opposite. According to Texas A&M, more than 80% of teens said they don't vape.
So 80% is
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 don't vape. Wow!
We like to make it fun for you guys to drive home the point that 8 out of 10 students don't vape. But now let's talk about some of those serious risks we mentioned. Nathan, what do you think is the biggest risk that comes with vaping?
I think it's definitely the nicotine. Most e-cigarettes contain nicotine, the addictive drug in regular cigarettes, cigars, and other tobacco products. A recent CDC study found that 99% of the e-cigarettes contained nicotine. Some e-cigarette labels don't say they have nicotine, and some e-cigarettes say they have 0%, actually test positive for it. Unfortunately, many teens think that they are inhaling harmless, flavored vapor.
And it's not just a little bit of nicotine either. One tiny pod from a vape device contains the same amount of nicotine as 20 cigarettes.
Nicotine can harm the developing teen brain. The brain keeps developing until about age 25. Using nicotine as a teen can harm the parts of the brain that control attention, learning, mood, and impulse control.
Each time a new memory is created or a new skill is learned, stronger connections, or synapses, are built between brain cells. A teen's brain builds synapses faster than adult brain. That's why you're so good at learning new things, but it takes adults forever. Nicotine changes the way these synapses are formed.
Some of the ingredients in e-cigarette aerosol could also be harmful to the lungs in the long term. For example, some e-cigarette flavorings may be safe to eat, but not to inhale because the gut can process more substances than the lungs.
Personally, I don't like to call e-cigarettes vapes because they definitely don't contain harmless water vapor. The devices actually create an aerosol, not vapor, that can contain harmful substances including ultrafine particles that can be inhaled deep into the lungs, flavorings linked to a life-threatening lung disease, volatile organic compounds, cancer-causing chemicals, heavy metals such as nickel, tin, and lead. The aerosols that users inhale and exhale from e-cigarettes can expose both themselves and bystanders to harmful substances.
Most vapes are marketed as a way to help smokers quit. This gives the false impression that the device is not only safe, but helpful as well.
Unfortunately, this marketing strategy is just not true, and we can prove it. According to a RAND Corporation study, teens who use e-cigarettes are 4 times more likely to go on to smoke traditional cigarettes than those who don't vape.
So these devices are marketed as a way to help adults stop smoking, yet they are actually responsible for getting kids to start.
That's exactly right. And big tobacco companies know this. See, for the last 20 years, tobacco use among youth had been on a steady decline, which hurt the pocketbooks of those big corporations. After seeing the success of vaping among youth, Altria, the parent company of Marlboro, invested $12.8 billion for a 35% stake in Juul, the largest e-cigarette manufacturer.
Makes you wonder, if vapes are supposed to help you stop smoking, then why is Marlboro investing in them?
The answer is because these companies want to get you hooked on nicotine when you're young. Many e-cigarettes come in fruit, candy, and other kid-friendly flavors. Most teen e-cigarette users first start them with a flavored variety, and flavors are the primary reason youth report using e-cigarettes.
Remember how we told you that big tobacco companies and vape companies are working together to introduce you to nicotine? Check out these side-by-side comparisons of an old cigarette ad and a new vaping ad. Notice any similarities?
These ads are designed to appeal to teens like you and have been shown to increase teen use of cigarettes. Even though traditional cigarette companies are banned from television, vaping products are advertised on TV, even though they have the same dangers.
Let's talk about why teens vape. One of the biggest reasons teens say they vape is to deal with stress. What are some ways you could deal with stress that are healthier than vaping?
Play a sport.
Write in your journal.
Talk to a friend?
Or an adult who cares.
Hey, Dad.
Oh, hey, guys.
This is the Sources of Strength wheel. As you can see, it has many different aspects you can include in your life to help you whenever you're going through a tough time. Things like improving your physical health or your mental health, your spirituality or generosity. You can include healthy activities in your life, or you can have mentors and positive friends or family support. It's important to have as many aspects as you can to help you when you're going through a tough time.
How many of you remember the parachute game in gym class when you were in elementary school? Think about how many students it took around the parachute to get it to work. Think of the sources of strength like that. The more you have, the better off you'll be. You'll have lots of options for things to turn to other than substances like vaping.
We also wanted to give you some tools to help you quit if you were already addicted to e-cigarettes or another tobacco product. Here's our favorite website with tons of tools to help you quit. Check out smokefree.gov. There's a texting service, an app, an expert you can chat with, and a vaping quit plan. Nicotine is one of the most addictive substances for the teenage brain, so there's no shame in using these tools to help you quit.
That's all we wanted to share with you today about vaping. Remember that 8 out of 10 teens don't vape. Find other healthy ways to deal with stress and have a plan in place for how you will say no if someone offers you an e-cigarette or vape. Thanks for listening.
We know you're going to do amazing things.
Have a great year, stay safe, and we hope to see you on campus again soon.
Bye.